going to continue talking about solving systems of equations and talk more about mixed solving problems where I don't tell you what method to use when you're going to solve it. You have to decide. So we have three options that you've learned so far. The first is graphing, which we'll do when one or both of the equations is in slope-intercept form, especially if there's a fraction for the slope. Substitution also works when one or both equations are in slope-intercept form, but they're probably a little bit easier to do when there aren't fractions, but you could definitely do that even if there is a fraction. And then the elimination is easy when both equations are in standard form, and make sure that your x's and y's are lined up or stacked on top of each other like we talked about a couple lessons ago. So let's go ahead and do a couple problems. The directions in your packet essentially say solve the system to verify that the solution that's there is true. So for the first one, I noticed that my x's and y's are stacked on top of each other. Those are both in standard form, so I'm going to use elimination here. I need to decide, do I want to eliminate my x's or my y's? And you could certainly multiply the top equation by 5 and the bottom by 8 to cancel your x's, but there's actually a shorter step or fewer steps to do if you just multiply the second equation by 3 to cancel your y's. So I get negative 8x minus 15y equals 1 will stay the same, and negative 15x minus 15y equals 15. The only problem here, and where I see the most common mistakes, is that my 15y's don't cancel right now because they're both negative. So I'm going to go ahead and change my signs in that second equation. So I get a positive 15x, a positive 15y, and a negative 15 there. So when I add together, I get 7x, my y's cancel, equals negative 14. If I divide by 7 on both sides, I find that x equals negative 2. Once I have my x, I can plug that back in to either of those original equations to find my y. So I have negative 8 times negative 2, which is 16. I'm going to subtract 16 from both sides and divide both sides by negative 15 to get y equals positive 1. So negative 2, positive 1 is in fact our solution. For the next problem, because there's a fraction in there, you could definitely graph it in slope-intercept form. I'm actually going to show you how to solve this using substitution. Since I have y by itself, I'm going to take this negative 2x minus 5 and replace that second y with that. So I'm going to have negative 2x minus 5 equals 5 halves x plus 4. Now, a lot of you hate working with fractions, and I don't blame you here. So the easiest way to get rid of a fraction is to multiply everything in that equation by 2 to get negative 4x minus 10 equals 5x plus 8. We just made it a little bit easier to solve. So we're going to go ahead and move our x's to the same side. So I'm going to add 4x to both sides to get negative 10 equals 9x plus 8. I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides to get negative 18x. Sorry, negative 18 equals 9x. And then divide by 9 on both sides to get negative 2 equals x. Last step is to plug that in to either of these equations. I'm going to plug it into the first one to find my y. So y equals negative 2 times negative 2 minus 5. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. And 4 minus 5 is negative 1. So our solution is, in fact, negative 2, negative 1 for this problem. Okay. For the 3.0 type problems, we have two applications here. So we're going to go ahead and write out equations. For the first one, Fabulously Fit offers memberships for $35 per month. Remember that word per means we need an X with it, plus a $50 enrollment fee. So we have y equals 35x plus 50. The fitness studio offers memberships for $40 a month, plus a $35 enrollment fee. And once I have my equations set up, I'm going to go ahead and solve them. So I'm going to take this 35x plus 50, put in place of that y there, and solve for x. I'm going to move my 35x over so I only have x's on one side. I'm going to subtract 35 from both sides to get 15 equals 5x, and then divide by 5 to get x equals 3. So that means it took 3 months before the memberships for the fitness clubs will cost the same. Okay, so that's why you see the solution is 3 months there. To find the total cost after 3 months, we could plug this back in, but the question doesn't actually ask us for that, so we can stop there. Okay, and the last one we're going to do, Grace and Amanda each improved their yards by planting rose bushes and geraniums. Grace spent $233 on 7 rose bushes and 13 geraniums. Amanda spent $137 on 7 rose bushes and 5 geraniums. So they want to know how much one of each would cost. Notice that our rose bushes, they each bought 7. So all I need to do here is change my signs on one of my equations so that I have a positive and a negative. And then my r's cancel. I get 8g equals 233 plus negative 137, which is 96. Oops. See if I can fix that there. So 96, and then divide by 8 on both sides to get 12. And it does ask for the cost of both, so we're going to go ahead and plug that back in. So I'm going to do 7r plus 13 times 12 and set that equal to 233. 13 times 12 is 156. I'm going to subtract 156 from both sides. I'm out of room. So I get 7r equals 233 minus 156, which is 77. So I get r equals 11 when I divide. Okay, so we definitely found $11 per rose bush and $12 per geranium. So we agree with that there. If you have any questions, let us know. Try those practice problems in your packet, and then there is one last quiz. Once you finish that quiz, you're actually going to have a project to do to show us that you're at a 3.0. Have a great day. Let us know if you need help. We miss you, and we're thinking of you.